You are not lazy. You are not unmotivated. You are not incapable of building a profitable physiatry practice. You may simply be trapped in the most expensive habit in medicine, overthinking every possible outcome before taking the first profitable action. And for physiatrists, that habit is not harmless. It is costing time, revenue, referrals, autonomy, and in some cases, the future of the specialty itself. Because while you are still thinking about whether to start the practice, negotiate the contract, call the hospital CEO, hire the biller, raise your rates, build a referral network, or launch the service line, someone else is already doing it. That is the uncomfortable truth. Physiatry demand is rising. The aging population is growing. Stroke, trauma, orthopedic, neurologic, chronic pain, and post-acute rehab needs are not slowing down. Hospitals need throughput, skilled nursing facilities need outcomes, patients need function, families need hope. And yet, many physiatrists are working harder, getting paid less, and wondering why the business of medicine feels like a locked room where everyone else got the key. Here is the key. The successful physician entrepreneur does not eliminate uncertainty before acting. They act in a way that produces better information. That is the difference. Overthinking feels responsible. It sounds mature. It wears a white coat and says, let me think through every angle first. But at 2 a.m., when your brain has rehearsed the same conversation 8 different ways, nothing has changed except your cortisol level and your sleep debt. Congratulations, you just completed a full fellowship in mental clutter. Thinking produces decisions. Overthinking produces delay disguised as wisdom. The physiatrist who wants to build a profitable practice must learn to separate the two. The first step is to name the real decision. You may think the question is, should I start my own practice? But the real question may be, am I willing to stop depending on administrators, employers, and referral patterns I do not control? You may think the question is, should I negotiate my compensation? But the real question may be, do I believe my clinical value deserves business level protection? You may think the question is, should I learn billing, contracts, operations, and marketing? But the real question may be, can I afford to stay ignorant while reimbursement declines? That last one stings because it should. Physicians were trained to heal. We were not trained to build profitable businesses. We were taught anatomy, pathology, pharmacology, procedures, and patient care. But nobody pulled us aside in residency and said, here is how reimbursement works. Here is how to structure a medical director agreement. Here is how to capture your value. Here is how to avoid becoming the highly educated employee in someone else's wealth-building machine. That knowledge gap is real, but it is not permanent. The hopeful path forward is this. Stop trying to make every business decision perfect before you make it. Most practice building decisions are not permanent. You can revise your offer, improve your systems, change your marketing, adjust your payer mix, renegotiate terms, hire better help, fire bad processes, pivot service lines. Your first version does not need to be flawless. It needs to exist. Because the fastest way to escape overthinking is to take the action that produces information. Send the email, make the call, ask for the meeting, review the contract, study the billing report, launch the content, invite the referral source to lunch, build the offer, talk to the physician who has already done it. 5 minutes of real-world feedback will teach you more than 5 months of private work. This is where my work becomes a helping hand for physiatrists who know they are capable of more but do not yet know the business path forward. The goal is not to turn every physiatrist into a Wall Street analyst in scrubs. The goal is to help physiatrists reclaim ownership of medicine by learning the business principles necessary to build profitable, sustainable, healing-centered practices. Because the future will not reward the physician who merely works harder, it will reward the physician who learns faster, acts sooner, and builds smarter. The demand for physiatry is increasing, the workload is increasing, the pressure on reimbursement is increasing. The question is not whether the opportunity exists. The question is whether you will still be overthinking when someone else captures it. So here is the challenge. Name one business decision you have been looping in your head for weeks. Give yourself 20 minutes to think, then take the smallest real-world action that gives you feedback, not someday, today, because clarity does not arrive before action. Clarity is the payoff action gives you. And in the business of physiatry, the physicians who act with purpose will build the practices that everyone else wishes they had started. Your future practice is not waiting for perfect confidence. It is waiting for your first decisive move.